Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, federal government suspends blasting activities in some communities in Abuja after reports of earth tremor. National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency raised fresh alarm over impending threats of flood in states close to River Niger and Benue. Former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekarau returns to the ruling All Progressives Congress ahead of the 2019 general elections. And Russian President Vladimir Putin kicks against truce as Syria prepares an all-out assault on last rebel stronghold, Idlib province.
On business news tonight, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation allays fears of fuel scarcity amid impending strike by the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers.
And on sports news tonight, Serena Williams is on course for a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam title when she faces Japanese trailblazer Naomi Osaka in the final of the U.S. Open on Saturday.
From Abuja, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, meets representatives of political parties, warns against vote buying ahead of general elections.
We begin tonight from the nation's capital, Abuja, where there has been reports of earth tremor, particularly in Mpape, Jabi, Gwarimpa, and some parts of Maitama district. Now, the federal government has ordered the suspension of rock blasting activities in and around the affected area. Our correspondent Kela Megwa visits some of the areas where the tremor was felt and now reports.
Mpape is a community on a hill with a lot of troubles. A filthy environment, rising crime rate, poor road network, and now earth tremors.
Almost 4 times I had it. I thought that maybe the house collapsed.
The whole room was shaking, as in the building was shaking, as if it wanted to collapse.
The one in this morning even cracked my wall.
6 o'clock in the morning today is worse. Even my interest, if you did that outside, my interest I got the shake.
Structural disturbances.
The Director General of the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency says there is no need to panic because Nigeria doesn't belong to the plate boundaries and is not prone to earthquakes. However, he says Mpape is predisposed to intra-plate tectonics, citing a fracture from Mpape to Koi in Kaduna State, which had experienced an earth tremor 2 years ago.
Recently, we acquired some 6 sets of seismic monitoring or earthquake monitoring equipment. We are presently in the process of deploying them in different zones of the country, determined by the geology, of course. In Kaduna, in Abuja, in Yola, in Bador, Calabar, and Oka. So definitely by the time these equipments are deployed, it will give us quick information as to where probably you could have this kind of event so that you warn people beforehand.
This quarry has been functioning in Mpape for 20 years, and the managers expressed worry over the encroachment of buildings to the site. The site engineer takes us through the process of blasting and says there is no correlation between blasting activities and the earth tremor.
Before we start the blasting, we send to our neighbors. We have another company here. They are neighbor for us. We inform them that we will blast by which time, and also the Pompo police and the police, they help us to block this route and also to confirm that we evacuate all the villagers or anyone inside the farms close to us here. After that, they give us the feedback that everything is okay, you can go ahead and blast. After that, we do the blasting.
In a statement issued by the Office of the Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, all blasting activities have been suspended in Mpape until the Nigeria Geological Survey Agency concludes its investigation to establish the trigger of the earth tremor.
The prevailing emotion amongst many of the residents of Mpape
is fear. Fear for their lives, fear for the lives of their children. Are their houses safe? Many of them have told us that their buildings experienced cracks after the earth tremors. Now, the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency says there's no need to panic. However, if the structural integrity of your building has been compromised, then for the safety of those who live in those buildings, it's best to move. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
And staying in the nation's capital, Abuja, there's been another warning of impending flash floods. But this time, not in Abuja, but in states close to River Niger and Benue. The National Emergency Management Agency is warning that the rise in water levels to over 10.1 meters is a big threat to residents of floodplains. NEMA Director General Engineer Mustafa Mehaja explains that the agency will collaborate with relevant government agencies to reduce the impact of the floods on states at risk.
The 2012 flood disaster, estimated to have claimed the lives of 363 people, displaced 2.1 million people across 30 states, no doubt left many families devastated. But while those families are still grappling with their losses 6 years after, there is yet another flood alert warning for some parts of the country, following a repeat of the indices that caused the September 2012 floods. At this emergency meeting, which brought together experts in key government ministries and parastatals, officials agree that strong collaboration remains key to reducing its impact on communities.
We set up a committee of five groups of three personnel from various sectors to visit the state, to meet with the officials, to go down to the villages that are really critically under threat. Use all avenues to enlighten them.
One after the other, experts highlight the magnitude of rainfall to be experienced in some states. This, according to them, is likely to cause flooding.
As of today, the level of water downstream the confluence in Lokoja is 10.01 meters. That is the height of River Niger. The corresponding discharge is 21,731 cubic meters per second, 21,731 cumex. That's the corresponding value, the speed at which water is passing per second at that particular section.
With these indices, which point to a likely flooding in the next few days in the frontline states of Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, Adamawa, Taraba and Benue, experts advise prompt evacuation of persons living in riverine communities if the nation is to avert its impact on lives and property.
The latest warning from the National Emergency Management Agency and the National Hydrological Services Agency says that 12 states across the country would soon experience flooding due to torrential rain. The agency says the decision to raise the alarm is to ensure preparedness among stakeholders and residents of flood-prone communities. Our correspondent, Ayola Kazim, now reports on why this warning should be taken seriously at this time.
A message from the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency that sends shivers down the spine of many Nigerians, and their worries are not misplaced. It was on the 29th of September 2012 that the maximum flood level of 12.84 meters and the corresponding discharge of 31,000 32 out of Nigeria's 36 states were affected, 24 of them severely. More than 360 people were killed and almost 2 million people were displaced. As at 6th of September 2018, the Hydrological Services Agency measuring station in Lokoja recorded a stage height of 9.89 meters and a discharge value of 21,326 cubic meters per second, as against lower values of 9.43 meters and 19,762 cubic meters per second recorded on the corresponding date in 2012. This, the agency says, doesn't look good, especially for 12 states on the floodplains of River Niger.
As at today, the value we are having at Lokoja has exceeded what we had at the same point in 2012, when we are still about 30 days away from the maximum we saw in 2012. To us as hydrologists or water engineers, it tends to portend some worriness.
Although the degree and seriousness of flooding in Nigeria fluctuates, it remains a recurring phenomenon in most parts of the country.
Typically, you realize that most of the waterways have been blocked due to refuse dumping and whatnot. All this man-made works have contributed into this flooding experience.
It is now crucial for the states in the floodplains, especially those around rivers Niger and Benue, to prepare for heavy rains within the next 3 weeks. And this may result in flooding. For the Hydrological Agency says all the indices that caused the 2012 river flooding have manifested, except spillage of water from the Lagdo Dam. Ayola Kasim reporting for Channels Television News.
We'll have more on the situation of the flood alert on the news at 10. In the meantime, to politics, the former governor of Kano State and leader of the People's Democratic Party in the state, Ibrahim Shekaru, has defected to the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Mr. Shekaru, who spoke with APC officials in Kano, explained that he had taken the decision after due consultations with members of his constituency, supporters and stakeholders. Malam Ibrahim Shekaru was part of the merger that formed the APC prior to the 2015 general election, but he later left the alliance to join the PDP and was appointed a Minister of Education.
I want to assure you, those of us here in Kano, in view of all the developments, I want to say history is repeating itself. And all along, I have been beating my chest with pride that anybody who will write the history of the APC, if the name of Ibrahim Shekaru is not there, that history is incomplete. I had the singular honor of being the chief midwife of APC. And therefore, it is a kind of homecoming. And since we left, I have interacted peacefully as part of our culture and tradition that we relate with every person regardless of his political opinion.
Marlon Shekaru and his supporters were officially received into the APC fold by the national chairman of the party, Mr. Adams Oshomole, along with the Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and top APC officials in the state.
I know for a fact from your lifestyle, from your background, from what you did as governor of Kano State, and your views on social programs, economic policy, etc., nobody in Nigeria can claim to be more progressive than Your Excellency. I am also fully aware that you were part of the founding fathers of the APC. And as local people will say, na condition I make the fish bend. So we know that you will not have expended the amount of effort you invested in the formation of the All Progressive Congress if you did not believe in it. And I have always said that going forward, the real progressive will reunite and the conservative will move away. The conservatives have moved away.
In part two, after the break, some indigents of Southern Borno collectively buy APC governorship ticket for Idris Mamman. That's in a moment. Do stay with us.